What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Lesser Athletes. My name is Chadwell, and today, like always, an interesting video for you here on the channel. Let's talk about the current state of SmackDown. The other day, let's talk about the current state of Raw. Now, for that video, I purposely wanted to get it a week before the SmackDown one because, one, we were about to premiere on SmackDown where I knew a lot of stuff was going to be a little different. Some new things was going to happen. There's a lot of things coming up. Now we're kind of in the middle of now entering this new state of Raw, especially SmackDown, when you look at even the new logo, which I do have to say the whole things with SmackDown's been going on has been clean. All of it looks incredible in my opinion. I even like this logo. I always see the S and I just don't know how to feel about the left S, but I think it still just looks so clean in my opinion. I think everything for the SmackDown looks good in my opinion as well. But let's just talk about the current state of SmackDown. This is basically just going to go through the storylines. This is going to be a kind of series on the channel I do monthly where I kind of look at the current state, what's been going on with SmackDown. Then I kind of look at, look at what's kind of going on with these storylines, what's going on, what I think is happening, and then overall I'm going to say, how has SmackDown been doing so far? And we're kind of going to talk about the past months of SmackDown rather than the past month of SmackDown. So yeah, let's just get started with Cody Rhodes in the WWE Championship, which is at an interesting point so far. I think a lot of people don't like the reign that Cody Rhodes has, and I don't hate them for doing this and saying that because I do think Cody Rhodes, when you go from Roman Reigns to Cody Rhodes, it's a little hard to take the hit with that because Cody Rhodes isn't going to have these insane storylines like Roman Reigns has had with, Randy Orton coming and going after him, Cody Rhodes going after him for Royal Rumble. Some of these storylines I think are not hitting as hard. Cody Rhodes, I still think, had just banger matches. I think that's the whole thing with his kind of reign so far is that there's been good matches. But not a lot of people are going to love that. They're going to want the storyline and the match to also hit as well. So I think that's why a lot of people haven't liked the storyline. Me personally, I still think it's been a good kind of run. Just finished with Kevin Owens. There's been some interesting ones so far, like Solo twice now is kind of a little interesting as well, but Solo had the great match in that steel cage match, but instead it's kind of at an interesting area, but I still think we're at a rise and we're going to see this kind of storyline really rise to levels that we can only imagine. Now I have to mention the Bloodline and Roman Reigns, especially after the WWE Championship, because we're at this interesting point. I think the biggest thing carrying SmackDown so far has been the Bloodline. I think that's like one of the biggest reasons why a lot of the SmackDown talent came to Raw, and then Raw looks so stacked, but this SmackDown was kind of relying on the Bloodline kind of storyline. I think, in my opinion, that Solo Sikoa in the Bloodline has had an amazing storyline. I do love the addition of Jacob Fatu, which I am a Jacob Fatu stan till death. So I think that's the reason why I've always loved SmackDown. But now with the interesting factor of Roman Reigns, especially with an upcoming match at Bad Blood, we're going to be at an all-time high, I think, for these next upcoming months. I think Roman Reigns is going to be showing up more. I think the Bloodline is going to be a huge part of WWE. I think we're going to start seeing, maybe The Rock come back around Survivor Series. We're going to see War Games build up. It's going to be an interesting point. It's going to be interesting to see who really joins them for War Games for the Bloodline. Because right now, in my opinion, Jay and Sammy and others were at this interesting point where I don't really know how they would maybe help of Roman Reigns when it comes to the Bloodline. But I definitely am interested to see how we could get there. Up next, we have Nia Jax in the WWE Championship. And I also want to talk about Tiffany Stratton and Money in the Bank. With Nia Jax getting confirmed match at Bad Blood, does maybe have a question mark on, does Nia Jax get cashed in on at Bad Blood? If it's Bad Blood, how do you not get Bad Blood with Tiffany Stratton cashing in on Nia Jax? Could there be maybe Charlotte Flair coming to really kind of go after Nia Jax? We'll see. I'd be interested to see what happens with Nia Jax because I think the storyline so far has been kind of Bayley coming back. But I think the most important thing that we've really seen from the WWE Championship for Nia Jax and why it's been such a factor is really Tiffany Stratton. I don't think anyone thinks Nia Jax is going to lose this title until one, Charlotte Flair comes, or two, Tiffany Stratton cashes in on her. Truthfully, I don't think anyone is thinking that this is going to happen till then. I just believe that Tiffany Stratton, even though Nia Jax has the title, is holding the most important thing right now, in my opinion. Maybe that's crazy to say, but Tiffany Stratton is probably going to be the championship holder entering Royal Rumble. I would not be shocked if not. But I do think that it's going to happen sooner than later. And I think this whole storyline with Nia Jax right now is really just surrounded by when is Tiffany going to kind of cash in. Up next, we have LA Knight in the U.S. Championship. Definitely has shown that it's a working championship so far. I think he's going to tie title defenses. Or no, he's going to tie it. He's had two. He's going to tie it with Andrade on SmackDown next week. I'd be interested to see if LA Knight is going to have this kind of not screwed over reign, where I want to say that right now them booking the U.S. title to be kind of go against on SmackDown doesn't hurt him more than it doesn't hurt him a lot, but I still would rather him go, defend it at a PLE. There just hasn't been as great of opponents to go against them for SmackDown, in my opinion. I think maybe a triple threat with Andrade and Carmella Hayes could lead up to Bad Blood, but for now, I don't see it happening for just till then. I think the SmackDown before a Bad Blood is probably where we're going to see a bigger U.S. Championship match. We'll have to see. But right now, it's in a good point. I think LA Knight is higher and, the biggest face there is right now on SmackDown so far. And that's even saying Cody Rhodes, truthfully. I'm going to be honest. I think it's LA Knight by far because of how many people have turned on Cody Rhodes due to his championship. And people are starting to turn on LA Knight. I've seen all these comments about that, which is crazy to say. But I would be excited and I would be lying if I'm not telling you. I'm so interested to see where the storyline goes with LA Knight because I think there is a chance that we see once around Survivor Series, someone comes back and tries to steal this title, or someone picks it off of him right before WrestleMania. Up next, we have Carmella Hayes and Andrade. If I'm talking U.S. title, I got to be talking about these two. Banger after banger after banger on SmackDown has really shown out and has really shown that if you just wrestle good, you are going to get the spotlight. They have now made it a 5 series, and Andrade won the series, but I think they might try to run it back and go game 7 in the series, which would be kind of funny to see. Carmella Hayes and Andrade have been just good. I don't think it has hurt them at all. I think if anything, it's boosted them before. And now I want to see what happens with Andrade with LA Knight. I think LA Knight is going to not get cost. Andrade is going to get cost against LA Knight for the U.S. title. We'll have to see what Carmella Hayes does, but this feud I don't think is going to be finishing, if you want to be honest. Up next, we have Bayley, Naomi, and Charlotte Flair. Now, do I see... and I want to mention all three of these because I think there's interesting talking points for all of them. Bayley and Naomi. Why am I messing this up right now? Charlotte Flair as well. I think they're all gonna go for the title. I think it's gonna be a triple threat at Bad Blood, in my opinion. I think Bayley is going to somehow pin a Nia Jax. Maybe it's a Tiffany Stratton and it leads up to something like that. Or just something goes on and both the tag team winners go against them in this upcoming tag team match. We'll have to see at Bad Blood. But I think Charlotte Flair ultimately is the ace in the hand, in the back pocket, as others would say. That is going to just come back and destroy Nia Jax somehow with a Tiffany Stratton cash-in. But I do want to say if it is a triple threat, I could see a way for it be a good way for Tiffany Stratton to cash in at Bad Blood and then set up a Charlotte Flair. We will have to see, but I do expect... I feel like Charlotte Flair is going to have to be in the mix somehow for a Tiffany Stratton, or they're going to... I don't know. Like, this is just my brain working. Maybe it's stupid. But truthfully, if Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair is your goal for WrestleMania, would you not want it to be a match with Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair? Charlotte Flair wins the title. Tiffany Stratton cashes in right then and there, like kind of Io Sky with Bayley, or not Bayley, with Bianca Belair. I don't know. That's just my opinion, though. It's hard for me to not see Bayley or Naomi get cashed on rather than Charlotte Flair. That's just me being truthful. Up next, we have Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. We're kind of at this point where the story's been going on for a long time. Let's be honest here. When did they kind of start hinting that Austin Theory would turn on Grayson Waller? Like right when they got their titles, which was back in April. I think it was more like May-ish, June-ish, somewhere around there. And they still have not paid it off, which, granted, it's September. I keep thinking we're in October, November, but we're not. I'd be interested to see how this story continues, in my opinion. I think that we're going to start hitting it hard. Maybe they're actually just waiting for a while so then we can start setting this up for WrestleMania. That would be a little bit of a shocker, in my opinion, if they wait that long. I just think Austin Theory is going to turn on Grayson Waller soon, and it should happen. Upcoming, and it should happen on a PLE, in my opinion. Up next, we have Randy Orton and Kevin Owens talking about two people that I think are going to turn on others. These two, I think, are going to start turning on Cody Rhodes. Maybe not as a tag team, but definitely as just two people in general, just turning on others. Maybe it's Kevin Owens getting turned on by Randy Orton. Whatever it might be, I think with Cody Rhodes helping this old bloodline out, these two are not going to be happy when they have gotten hell on hell from the Roman Reigns bloodline. It's going to be interesting to see how they react. I think we're going to see it in the next SmackDown, how they're going to start reacting. But in my opinion, they're kind of at this point where there's not really a lot of story for them to go on. That's why they just randomly get like a tag team match just during a SmackDown. I really just wonder what's going to happen. Like, what's going to happen next for these two? It's just going to be interesting, and I think we're going to start seeing it upcoming these next few weeks. Up next, we have the tag team division, and I have to mention the Bloodline down there winning the tag titles. But if you let me be honest, Raw does have a decent tag team division, but I like SmackDown's a little bit more. I think for what's limited, I think DIY, Street Profits deserve to have tag team titles, and they have shown out for tag team titles. I had Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin in here. I couldn't find a great picture of them because they've been kind of in the mix as well. Now it's becoming a tag team. But the Bloodline holding these tag titles, I don't think they lose it till after War Games. Their division has been honestly better than Raw in the sense of Raw hasn't had one title defense at all. It's really just been, maybe the LWO going against, the Judgment Day for a second, or it would be, what am I thinking of? The New Day, which could be splitting. Could be Authors of Pain, which haven't been as amazing recently. The Creed Brothers, Uncle Howdy, all that. And granted, they have a good tag team division, but I just like SmackDown's better. I think SmackDown has just been a better product when it comes to the tag team division. Up next, we're going to talk about just random people that haven't been really introduced and kind of just there. We're talking about AJ Styles, who's healthy, just there's no creative plans for him. Logan Paul, I just hit my mic. Logan Paul, after losing to LA Knight, been on doing his own thing so far, kind of looking like he's back to kind of being that part-timer where he was really part-time but not really doing anything. I had Chelsea Green and Piper Niven here because there isn't a storyline with them. I was really hoping they would capitalize on Chelsea Green losing the Money in the Bank. They didn't really. I think Chelsea Green has also helped talent on NXT. Maybe that's why. But Chelsea Green does deserve her flowers at the end of the day. I hope they get a mid-card title, and I hope it goes to Chelsea Green. Giovanni Vinci is such an interesting one. I wonder if they do a storyline with him and Apollo Crews. But for him to be squashed by Apollo Crews, it is one of the most sad and insanely weird things I've ever seen in WWE, in my opinion. Like, if you actually want to build him up, why would you have done that? Why would you have done that? Up next, we have Shinsuke Nakamura. Also, I think hasn't been on TV at all. I wonder when he'll show up on SmackDown, because right now I think we're not going to see him still for a while. It'd be interesting if he goes back to NXT, because I think he does kind of need to, in my opinion. Up next, we have How is SmackDown Doing? The final finale of this. Now, let's be honest here. Out of Raw and SmackDown, I think SmackDown has been good, but it hasn't been great. Raw has really shown recently that Raw has been really, really good, in my opinion, with all their storylines. SmackDown's been kind of an interesting one. I don't think that some of these storylines have been hitting as hard as people would want. I just don't think that a lot of the stuff has been amazing so far for them, but I still think there's been good. Don't get me wrong. But I definitely know a lot of people that agree with me and say SmackDown just hasn't been it as much. Maybe it's because of the Temu bloodline, and now we're starting to get a little bit better, which I do have to say recently gotten better. We'll have to see. I feel like the whole SmackDown storyline SmackDown has been carried by this whole bloodline storyline with Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes have had these interesting competitors and superstars go after him, and it hasn't been huge story builders, in my opinion. Look at AJ Styles twice. Who else am I thinking of? The bloodline, even in some matches. And then there's one I'm straight up forgetting. Oh, Logan Paul. It was an amazing build-up. It just was that. And then Bloodline was just a little bit there. I feel like LA Knight's been really carrying as well, because I think a lot of people have gone behind LA Knight when it's come to the hype, the build, the carriness with that. I just think that SmackDown's in this weird area where it's doing good, but I don't think it's great. I think it's going to get better with the whole Bloodline storyline. We'll just have to see. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I think these next upcoming weeks, we're going to see some peak SmackDown. Last episode was one of the best episodes we've ever seen, in my opinion. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.